One of the things that I appreciate about Elon Musk is that he is a massive fan of good storytelling, which is exactly what we are not getting from Amazon's Rings of Power, which he took to Twitter to absolutely obliterate today in these epic tweets. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that all of the walls are closing in on Rings of Power, and the fact is that more and more people are realizing that this show is complete garbage, and you can see that across the board. Amazon can try to hide it all they want. They can continue to try to manipulate what people are actually saying about this show all they want, but the truth is that this show is a disaster. As you can see here over on Metacritic, it currently has a 1.9 from users, from audiences, which is abysmal. Over on IMDb, even though Amazon is continuing to try to manipulate that, it is still a pretty terrible rating for a Lord of the Rings property. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, it is currently sitting at 39% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. So everything is falling apart for Rings of Power, and Amazon is in total panic mode, and I can only imagine how much that has escalated after what Elon Musk says here, one of the most influential people in the world. He said this: Tolkien is churning in his grave. And he is completely correct about this. It is obvious that Elon Musk is fuming over what Amazon is doing with the Lord of the Rings. So he also said this: almost every male character so far is a coward, a jerk, or both. Only Galadriel is brave, smart, and nice. Personally, I wouldn't call Galadriel nice or even really that smart. She jumped off a boat to swim across an ocean for hundreds of miles, or really anything. She is just a terrible character, and so are the male characters, which is why this show is going to be a failure. This show is going to be a disaster because none of the characters are actually likable. I don't give a crap about any of the characters as I'm watching the show. They are all terrible. All of the male characters are basically just either, like he says here, a coward or a jerk. Elrond is weak. Elrond is not the Elrond that is from the works of Tolkien, okay? This Elrond is a complete joke. And he continues on, and 90% of my comments are bots, which is hilarious, taking shots at Twitter again, which is always a great thing to see. And then you have Jack Posobiec down here, who is totally in agreement with him, but one of the things about Elon Musk is that he is a fan of the works of Tolkien, and he has proved that many times in the past. He has legitimized that with things like this tweet that he put out just a couple of months ago where he says, "I miss them." And he showed the Hobbits from 2001 versus 2022. Just take a look at this image right here, and there is so much depth, so much character, so much that you can get from just this image that just completely trounces anything that Rings of Power is giving us. He also said this: 9 rings for mortal men, in reference to a historical event that he was talking about. He also said this when asked who his favorite character was from Lord of the Rings. He said Samwise, and that just makes me think about all of the great things that Samwise brings as a character. And the fact is that the Hobbits, they aren't these warrior characters. They are characters that are small in size and stature and everything else, but they continue to have the courage to carry things like the ring to Mount Doom. One of the things that makes Samwise so great is that he is such a loyal companion. He is such a courageous person. And that is one of the things that people love so much about Samwise, but Rings of Power has no interest in actually pursuing any of those deep themes that Tolkien has in his works. They're only interested in pushing modern ideology into the works of Tolkien, which is a complete joke, a disgrace. And Elon Musk, as he says here, is completely correct when he says Tolkien is churning in his grave over the disaster that is Rings of Power. With that being said, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.